Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review. And yeah, I have actually reviewed this beer before, but I think it was 8 years ago. And yeah, when you see what the beer is, well, you know what the beer is anyway, is this one. It's the Fuller's ESB, which is a legendary beer anyway from the UK. You might think, this beer hasn't changed at all. You're probably going to say the same things. Might be true, but my tastes have actually changed, and especially near 10 years ago, which was kind of when I started doing. Well, actually, I started doing stuff well over 10, 11 years ago. Anyway, it is the Fuller's ESB Champion Beer because this has won loads of awards. From the Griffin Brewery over in Chiswick, brewed beside the Thames since 1849. And if we look on the back, this is the ESB that started it all, multi-award winning Fuller's ESB. It's acknowledged as one of the world's finest beers, using Northdown, Target, Challenger and Goldings. Hops to balance the rich malty notes for a smooth, full-bodied beer with marmalade fruitiness. And it is a 500ml bottle, I should say, at 5.9%. And for those of you that are watching this not from the UK or are slightly younger, ESB stands for Extra Special Bitter. That's what I believe it is. So yeah, it's a bitter, or a bitter for those of you that are watching this in America. It basically means it's a pale ale. But sometimes our bitters are a little bit darker in colour, a little bit more heavier, a little bit more malt forward, extra special. You look at there, you got a neck chief with some gold awards, and whoops, there we go. I don't know if you can see that, but that is a Griffin from the Griffin Brewery, which is in Chiswick in London. If you go past, you can still see that the building is still there, the Fuller's Brewery. Boom. There we go. Oh, I don't know if you can see that, but there's definitely a little bit of smoke coming out of that bad boy. Oh, and I'm going to use this glass again. This is the honeydew glass, but honeydew, as you probably know, is a Fuller's beer. It definitely has the Fuller's logo on there. This is a nucleated glass. I don't know if you can see that sort of round circles are etched into the bottom of the glass. So we will get some head on this bad boy, which perhaps you want from a honey beer, but maybe you don't want from a pint of bitter, or just under a pint of bitter. For some unknown reason, in the UK, and we're not in Europe anymore, we're still doing 500s instead of pints. The only pint you can buy, a cider, for some unknown reason, cider is still done in pints. And things like Budweiser and lagers, they're American, you can get in pints too. Anyway, so I should turn, well, I don't know, honeydew, it doesn't really matter. There's a picture for you if you want it on the front, which of course I do. Oh, lovely. Now, for those of you that grew up drinking beer or starting to drink beer, 70s, 80s, 90s, there were a lot of brewery owned pubs around. There aren't so many now, although where I live in Kent, there are loads of brewery pubs from Shepherd Neame. but you could walk into a Fuller's pub and get this on draft. Absolutely crazy. I should have a look. Look, really, really super duper clear. Good half finger's head of very, very tightly put carbon big bubbles just off the head. And I don't know if you can see the glass. See all those bubbles? They're coming up purely because the bottom of this glass is etched. You can see me through there. Very, very bright beer, which in the old days supposedly meant it was really good. At least you haven't got things floating in there, which some beers do. Oh, this takes me back, man. This beer is a proper pint of dishwater beer. That's what I would call this. A little bit fizzy because it's out of a bottle, not on draft, but you're getting that lovely sweetness. Now, interesting, you're getting the sweetness from the malt bill, and it is sweet because I can feel it on my lips. But you're also getting a bit of sweetness as well as the bitterness from the hops. I don't know how the hell they do that, but you're definitely getting a kind of sweetness. It's not super bitter, but on a sunny day, that would be perfect for drinking, a couple of these. I wouldn't do more than a couple because it's borderline 6% beer. As soon as you have three, that was what I used to say back in the day when we used to drink stuff as this. Directors and stuff with the other were some other ones. But you'd have one and you'd feel mellow. You have two and that's the deciding point. Because as soon as you have three, that's it, you're going to be drinking all night. If you can stick at two beers, that's it. You can go home. You can have a conversation with your missus or whoever is at home. But as soon as you have that third pint of a 6% beer, game over. You're going to be drinking a lot. Oh. It's weird how your tastes change, isn't it? Because I remember this as being quite a bitter beer. And there is a bitterness there, don't get me wrong. But I'm getting a lot more sweet kind of malts from this beer. And it is quite complex. Like I said, I think there's four, what did I say? Four different types of, so we got North Down, we've got Target, Challenger, and Goldings. Four different types of hops in here. And the Goldings, which I'd usually say would be that kind of peachy, maybe marmaladey, maybe slightly a light orange thing, it's difficult to pick out from this. I think a lot of the hops in here, along with the flavour, which is there, is to produce the nice bitter levels within this beer. Look at that! Look at that! The head is basically the same size as it was to start with. And look, the bubbles are still coming up at a fair rate. Fantastic. If I stopped talking and just drank that would go all the way to the bottom of the glass, which is fantastic. But yeah, I think maybe because I'm got some medical problems now, I should theoretically be watching what I drink and definitely watching what I eat. But I'm picking out a lot of residual sweetness, which I don't think I did before. I never really thought of sorry, not London Pride. Jesus, that's the other one. ESB was being a substantially sweet beer. And it's interesting because it's a bit stronger, because it's like almost 6% this beer. You would have thought that a lot of the sweetness would have been converted to that extra alcohol. But no, I think what's happened is they put some extra malts in to bulk up the alcohol, but have kept a little bit of the sweetness there just to balance it against the alcohol itself. It's clever what these old boys do. Oh, and the other thing that I found out, because I did a bit of research about Fuller's, is they do a lot of party guile brewing. And if I'm right, what they do is they make up a mash, take the first runnings off, then sparge, maybe take that off, and then sparge again. So you've got lots of different runnings of the beer, and then you can balance out. Do you want a strong beer like this? Do you want a normal pint of bitter, which would be the London Pride or something like that? Or do you have the Chiswick? What's the Chiswick one? Chiswick bitter, which is a bit lighter. There's about 3 and a bit, 4, maybe 4%. So you've got 3 beers from the same grains, essentially the same mash, which I think is amazing. And when you start consider professional brewing, and basically professional brewing means you're brewing to make money. Yeah, you're not brewing. Well, you are brewing to some degree, but this beer's been around for 150 years. So maybe what people liked 150 years ago might not be. I mean, the brewers brewed like thousands of batches of this. But yeah, it's a good way of making really good use of your ingredients, because all you're doing really, all you're adding extra is water to flush out those sugars that then go to alcohol. So essentially your first runnings will be quite high, and you wouldn't, unless you're completely bonkers, you wouldn't make a first runnings beer, or maybe you would, but it would be like a barley wine or a double IPA or something. It would be a proper strong beer, a triple IPA maybe. Oh. But of course, what you can do, you can blend your runnings together to get one strong beer, but not first running strong, but quite strong, a medium beer, and you're blending maybe all 3 of your runnings together, and then a lighter beer. Maybe you're only doing your first runnings and your second runnings, and you're not doing sorry, your second runnings and your third runnings. You're not doing your initial run at all. So it might be 100% sparged runnings, which goes into maybe a Chiswick bitter or something like that. Absolutely bizarre. Anyway, you know me, I've started waxing lyrical, talking about old times, old school beers, talking about things such as the Fuller's ESB, which is a fantastic beer. The Barnett's gone everywhere. Ugh, won't have much hair left soon. It's all going. If you've liked this beer, if you've liked going down, the history of drinking over the last 30 years or so, why don't you click like on this video? If you haven't liked the video, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for making it this far in. But I'm sure if you made it this far in, you're of a certain mindset. So why not consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll be drinking a lot more beers. You know what I think I'm going to do, because I've been thinking a while as to what I should be doing And I think I should be drinking some more traditional beers, beers that everyone can get, but have been around for years and years and years, um, and have got a story to tell. And I will tell you my own personal story around that particular beer, such as this one. Guys, this has been Uncle Jonah. I'm going to finish this off camera because we're way gone over on the time. But hey, that's one thing that happens when you're having fun, doesn't it, dear viewer? And we'll see you for more beer reviews real soon. Until then, why don't you go down to your local supermarket off license and consider buying a proper old school dishwater beer. And if you do, let me know in the comments that you've done so. Cheers and beers, guys. We'll see you real soon.